Hello everyone, this is AgentRuss and welcome back to the channel. So far our system directly modifies components. That works, but it tightly couples systems together. Today we are building a real event bus. It will contain 5 things: support, publish and subscribe, use double buffering for frame safety, avoid surprise callbacks, be deterministic, and scale toward multiplayer later. This is the first major architecture upgrade to our engine. First, we are going to create a new file under ECS folder. We are going to call this file EventBus.js. Inside this file, we're going to say export class EventBus. And inside here, we're going to set the constructor. And let's make a comment here. First, we're going to say events emitted this frame. And for that, we need a new map. So we'll say this underscore current. And it's going to be equals to new map. And let's make a comment here and say type array. Next, we're going to say events schedule for next frame. And for this, we're going to have another map. We'll say this dot underscore next, and it's going to be equals to new map. And this is also type array. And finally, we need the subscribers. So we're going to say this dot underscore subs, and it's going to be equals to new map. And we'll say type. And this one is going to be set. And let's add another comment up here. We'll say subscribers. After the constructor, we're going to say, let's make a comment here first, called at start of world update. For that, we're going to create beginFrame. And inside here, let's make a comment here, say move next frame events into current. If this dot underscore next dot size is greater than 0, we'll do a for loop, say for constant, and in here we'll say type array of this dot underscore next, and inside this for loop we're gonna say if array dot length truly 0, we will continue. Constant current equals this dot underscore get array, and we'll pass this dot underscore current and type. And after that, we're going to say current dot push. And inside here, we're going to say array. And then finally, we're going to set the array length. We'll say array dot length, and it's going to be equals to 0. Next, we need to create the end frame. So after this, let's make a comment here and say call at end of world update. And now we're going to say end frame. Inside here, we need a function call for flashing subscription. So for that, we're going to say this dot underscore flush subscriptions. And we're going to create this function later on. So for now, I'm just calling it. And under here, we're going to make a comment and say clear all current events. And for that, we're going to have a for loop. We'll say constant array of this dot underscore current dot values. And now we'll say array dot length equals 0. So after end frame function, we need a function for emit. So we will say emit, I'll pass type and payload. And inside this function, we're going to say constant array equals this dot underscore get array. And then inside here, we'll say this dot underscore current and then type. And after this, we'll say array dot push, and then we'll push the payload. Next, we need a function for emitNext. We'll say emitNext, and this will also have type and payload. Constant array equals this dot underscore get array, and we'll pass the this dot underscore next and the type, and then array dot push, and we will pass the payload. After this, we need a function for consuming. So we'll say consume. It will have the type, and inside this function, we're going to say constant array equals this dot underscore current dot get, and we're going to get the type. And then we'll have an if statement saying if it's not array or array dot length truly 0, we'll return. And then we'll say constant out equals array dot length equals 0, return out. After consume, we need a function for subscribe. So under here, we'll say subscribe. It will have the type and handler. And inside this function, we'll say let set equals this dot underscore subs dot get, and we'll pass the type. If it's not set, set equals new set. this dot underscore subs dot set, and we'll pass the type and set. And after this if statement, we'll say set dot add, and we will pass the handler. And finally, we can return set dot delete handler. Next, we can create the flush subscription function I mentioned above. So for that, let's go ahead and say underscore flush subscriptions. We'll have a for loop saying for constant type array of this dot underscore current if it's not array, or array dot length truly 0. We'll continue, and then we'll say constant subs equals this dot underscore subs dot get. I will pass the type. If it's not subs, we'll continue, and the next we'll say for constant payload of array, for constant handler of subs, handler, and payload. Next, we are going to create the get array function that we've been using up there. So for that, we're going to say underscore get array, and this will have the map and the type. And inside this function, we're going to say let array equals map dot get. It will have the type. If it's not array, we'll set the array equals map dot set, and we'll pass the type and array. And finally, we can return the array. So let me explain what it all does. I just want to point out this is a proper event bus. We have two buffers, current frame events and next frame events. We never deliver events immediately. Instead, we flush them at the end of the frame. That prevents re-entering bugs and keeps update order deterministic. This is critical for multiplayer later. Next, we are going to attach this event bus to World.js. So let's go to World. Right above here, we will say import event bus from eventbus.js. The world should own the event bus, but not implement it. Inside the constructor, we're going to say this.events, and it's going to be equals to new event bus. Now, every world instance has its own event bus. This keeps multiple worlds isolated if we ever need that. Next, we want to hook the event lifecycle into the update loop. So let's scroll down. Inside here, let's go ahead and say, let's make a comment here first. Move next frame events into this frame. And for that, we're going to call this dot events beginFrame. We're going to keep this. And after the system update calls, we're going to say, let's make a comment here. Deliver events and clear buffers. And for that, we'll say this dot events dot endFrame. So at the start of the frame, we move any scheduled events into the active queue, system runs, then at the end of the frame, we flush subscriptions and clear the buffer. This guarantees no event survives longer than one frame unless explicitly scheduled. Next, we need a file to define event types. So for that, under the source folder, we're going to create a new folder, and let's call this folder events. And inside this folder, we are going to create a new file, and let's call this file EventTypes.js. And inside here, let's create some event types. Let's say export constant, and let's call this one event test, and let's set this one to test event. And then next we can say export constant event underscore damage, and let's set this one to damage. And then let's create another one and call this one to constant event underscore pickup, and let's say this one pickup. Instead of using raw strings everywhere, we define event type constants. This prevents typos and keeps everything structured. Next, let's open up the input system, and in here we're going to import event test from EventTypes. And inside the update function, let's scroll down. Right under here, let's create an if statement. Say if this.keys, and let's set a test key. So for that, we can use the key t. So let's say key t. And inside this function, we're going to say world.events.emit, and we'll pass the event test. And we will also pass the time performance.now. So input system emits a test event. Notice it does not know who will receive it. That's decoupling. Next, we are going to create a new system file. And let's call this file DebugEventSystem.js. Inside this file, we are going to import system and event test. After that, we will say export class DebugEventSystem extend system. And in here, we're going to call the constructor. And inside the constructor, we'll call the super. And after super, we will say this dot underscore unsubscribe. And we'll set this to null. And after the constructor, we're going to create the init function. We'll say init. We'll pass the world. And inside here, we'll say this dot underscore unsubscribe. And it's going to be equals to world.events.subscribe. And inside here, we'll pass the event underscore test. And we'll also pass the payload. And for the payload, we'll say console.log. And we're going to print out a message saying received test event. And we will pass payload. So this system subscribes to test event. Events are delivered at the end of the frame, not immediately. That prevents nested update calls. Next, we need to register the debug system. So for that, we will head over to main.js and we're going to import the debug event system. And now we're going to scroll all the way down. And right before the render system, we'll say world.addSystem and we'll pass the new debug event system. Now let's go ahead and save it. I'm going to make the game screen slightly bigger and open up the console. And if you press the key T and nothing happens, so let's go check our files. First, I want to check the debug event system file. And let's make some changes here. I want to change the name of this. Instead of unsubscribe, I want to say underscore subscribed. And instead of setting this to null, I'll set this to false. And now we're going to change this init function. And instead of init function, we're going to say update. I'll pass the world and delta time. And in here, we'll say if it's not this dot subscribed, we'll say world.events.subscribe. And we will pass the event test and the payload. And inside here, we can go ahead and write the console.log. And the same thing, it's going to be receive test event. And we'll pass the payload. And after this, we'll say this dot underscore subscribe. And we will set this one to true. And let's go ahead and save this. And inside our game, if I press T, now we can see the test event. The reason it's working now is because I accidentally call this function init, but the system calls the function update. So we have to change that name to update. Currently, when we press T, it prints continuously when the key is held. If we want to print only once per frame, then we need to add some flags. For that, we can go to input.js. In here, we can say this dot test event pressed, and we'll set this to false. And now we'll go say this dot test event held, and we'll set this to false as well. And inside the clear frame flags, we can add this dot test event press, and we'll set this to false. Next, we can go back to input system. In here, we can say constant test now, and we'll set this one to this dot keys, and it will have the key T. And inside the if statement, instead of saying this, we will say test now and not input dot test event held. We'll say input dot test event pressed, and we'll set this to true. And let's remove this one from here. And after this if statement, we can say input.test event held equals test now. And after this, we can go ahead and say if input.test event pressed. And then in here, we can pass that line world.events emit. And we'll pass the event test and the time. And let's go ahead and save it. Now, when we press the key T, it will only print once. And that's it for this episode. Today, we upgraded our engine architecture significantly. We now have a proper event bus. It supports publish and subscribe. It uses double buffering, it avoids surprise callbacks, and it's ready for multiplayer scaling. In the next episode, we are going to use this system to implement a proper damage pipeline. Systems will emit damage events. A health system will process them. We are officially transitioning from controller demo to real RPG engine architecture. If this was helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm AgentRuss. See you next time.